What's up, everyone? This was a video I did hesitate for a while on making, but the more I've seen other content creators sort of release their take on it, the more I figure it's, well, not really safe to do so. But if we're all going down, we're all going in the bandwagon together, right? We're all getting banned together. We're gonna get banned, right? Maybe, possibly, who knows? So if you look at recent events with like the new ToS that's come out and even the old ToS and stuff, it was always sort of like a don't ask, don't tell mentality and a very gray area, and it still kind of is, right? And then you see something like what happened recently with Goose, where he received a ToS violation, like a 10-day ban, and then I think that ToS violation turned into like a cheating violation through Twitch, which then, destroys someone's livelihood from a content creator's point of view, right? I think that's kind of harsh. I think that's kind of a big deal. And we shouldn't have to fear and privatize and delete VODs and delete videos just to sort of try to be safe and scared, whenever you can have other content creators come into our game and mod their game to the teeth and then nothing happened to them. Other content creators, other sort of content creators. Can't really think of one right now, but other ones. So that being said, I think that we need to look at some of the things that they need to integrate within the game and sort of the scale of these add-ons and sort of where they are severity wise, because I feel like they need to be listed by severity, right? Now, if we look at how this whole thing sort of started as a meme where, hey guys, Discord is a third-party add-on. Well, there's a lot of tug and war back and forth between people who say it's just a joke and people who say, no, it's actually real. Well, in my opinion, it is kind of real. If you ever have like messed around with a lot of Discord bots, they can be integrated to do some pretty wild shit, right? Like a Discord bot can essentially do call outs for your raid if integrated properly. So yes, Discord is now a third-party tool because you made it one. So there's things like that that really need to be heavily considered. There are sort of like three variations on like a scale for what I would say of add-ons, right? There's stuff where maybe, you just want, I guess, let's see here. Let me get, like, what's a good background? I need like a decent background right here. Some grass. Yeah, so. All right, so maybe I'm like, yo, I'm in my yard. I'm trying to look good. Let me get some sparkles going. Let me get a cat tail. All right, I also think that, my screen is too little like off color. So, I want some more grass yellow color over here. So they turn on some like G shaders or NVIDIA shaders. And then you have ToS violation right there, just because you wanted some new colors, right? I think stuff like that needs to be considered, using your NVIDIA thing to manipulate, how you visually see things, your sort of tone, color blindness, all that sort of stuff. There's some options within the game for color blindness, but overall, I think that there's just so much that people can do with color to make it look better to them, visually appealing. And is that really something they should be banned for? Personally, I don't think so. The second thing I want to talk about is going to be UI mods. Now, if you look at my hotbar down here, I keep everything clean, tight, nice and neat. And I feel that because I do so, I guess it could hinder me through actual gameplay. Like if you start popping abilities and you're like, oh, yo, check out all these abilities I'm throwing. Now, aside from the actual like ticker, I probably couldn't tell you how long was left on those cooldowns, right? I've just sort of figured out like where they are based on the relativity of knowing how long is left. Because that little tiny white number in there, Go-Go Gadget microscope, oh, check that out, dude. I got 66 seconds left on Rampart. So stuff like that really needs to change. maybe like gray out the button if it's on cooldown, and then it like comes back up to where it's sort of like in your peripheral. You'd be like, oh, the button's gray right now, I don't need to hit it, and then it like comes off, and maybe you'll be like, oh, it's off cooldown now. Or just allowing bigger damn numbers on the hotbar, right? You could also have stuff where, like, let's say you're on a you know, looking at cast bars. Like, I'm looking at this giant 200% cast bar, but because its only option is that yellow color, if I'm in a room like, I don't know, Phoenix, I'm not gonna be able to see that shit ever at all, right? So that needs to get changed. Or maybe even ground visuals on Phoenix. Let me change my cast bars and the ground visuals from yellow and orange to be like blue. So that way the developers can make the scene of the fight the exact way they want to. And part of the fight for me is picking a good color to see all the mechanics. Something like that. You know, another thing that kind of bothers me is party frames, right? Like, you could have, here's your party frames. Cool, party frames. Here's some tanks, right? You got your DPS, whatever, right? So like, I'm tanking with my buddy. He's got the boss. Oh, he got the debuff, right? Debuff, bad debuff. All right, cool. How long's on your debuff, bro? Oh, wait, it doesn't tell you because there's not a number underneath it to tell you, right? So like, I had to sit there and communicate the whole damn time and be like, how long's on your debuff? Is it close? Can you taunt yet? I'm about to die. I don't have cooldowns. Right? Stuff like that is all just not even cheating, bro. It's fucking assistance. Like, you can tell me that I can't have bigger numbers, but I can go out and buy a pair of glasses to see those numbers better. Like, those are some third-party glasses right there. I'll tell you what, that's messed up. In my opinion, I think that's cheating right there. But then you have people who will run like damage meters and boss mod timers, and you're gonna count those as the most severe events, when in reality, I personally have always liked damage meters from a learning perspective. I get that they could be used for toxic reasons, but if you were just to give us like a personal damage meter of just ourselves and no one else within the game, I would be 100% okay with that, because if I at least know what I'm doing on a boss that actually has movement, not let me hit stone, sea, and sky and I had 30 seconds left on the timer, let me go in there again, I had 35 seconds on the timer, I'm a god. That is not improvement in my opinion. Me being able to go in on a savage fight, figure out where I can greed, where I can't greed, and at the end of the fight I'm like, dude, I did 200 more DPS than last week. That's a good improvement. I feel like that is something that not everyone in the game wants, but we all have personal goals. And just because I want to improve and play my character better, I don't think there's a lot of people out there that just don't want to improve, right? I find that very hard to believe. I think that, yeah, you can play your class however you want to, class fantasy, whatever. But if you are doing like end game content, you still have to meet like a certain threshold. And I think because of that, always wanting to improve, if that wasn't the case, you wouldn't have people like Desperious being able to make job video guides and they get tons and tons of views. People are like, dude, you helped me so much. I even put up a Dark Knight video guide where I helped some tanks, and some people really loved the guide and it helped them out. Now, there was third-party tools in there that showed you what buttons I hit, and I did not take that video down because I feel like that is an educational tool and it shouldn't be penalized like other tools, right? And if they do take it down, then I guess that just means that we're never going to be allowed to ever do guides for you guys again, right? So overall, I don't know. That's just kind of my take on it. I feel like they really need to put some sort of add-ons within the game quickly within the next patch or two. Otherwise, people are just going to start using third-party tools that already exist and just sort of hiding them within their game and not really tell anybody. And I think that's kind of messed up, because a lot of those add-on developers have said through Twitter and stuff that they would really love to work with Final Fantasy's community to implement the things within the game, because then that person doesn't have to spend the time and ask for, yo, can you guys donate some Patreon money to me because I'm spending 80 hours a week trying to develop this and keep it updated with patches, to where it could just be, here's Square Enix, this is how you integrate it within your software, and we don't want to deal with the hassle of it anymore. Done, right? It's Square Enix's problem now. You guys update it. So just give us a game that works properly, right? This whole just sort of banning people for no reason is kind of like a reminiscent time of why I left Blizzard Entertainment and World of Warcraft, right? They did a lot of sketchy stuff, still are doing sketchy stuff. Their game's on a decline, and you know, they've always made a game that they felt you should play, when in reality it should have been a game that the players made for themselves, right? We always told Blizzard, whenever a patch was terrible, whenever we did beta testing, whenever we did, you know, alpha game release testing, what was horrible in the game, what wasn't going to work. They never listened to us. And then what happens? They release the content, they bleed out like 20% of their population overnight. Then like half a year later, they're like, you know what, guys, we were thinking about it and maybe you guys were right. And then they revert all the changes finally, but by then it's too late. And I think that Square Enix has grown so much, and whether you like it or not, they have bled into the WoW community. A lot of people left WoW because they heard the Final Fantasy community was so great. The devs listened to the community and what they wanted. And I think that's why they're here, is they want a game where they can sort of be heard, listened to, and really create something wonderful to play. And I think that's kind of the impasse that we're at right now, unfortunately. But let me know what you guys think down below on your whole take on everything. Do you think that, you know, someone who just wants to put cat ears on their dragon chick or humanoid or whatever is as serious a violation as like timers? Do you think that certain things should be exempt? Do you think that certain things should be integrated within the game? And if so, how to do it without it seeming like a cheating tool? So go ahead, drop those down below. I will try to back and forth with you guys as much as possible on these. I know there's probably gonna be a ton of comments on this. But until next time, stay safe, don't get banned, and I'll try not to either. And I'll see you guys in the next video.